Today, this is June 16th, 2023. I'm with the BE Collection. I am Diane Barrett. And today the coming out presentation will be done by Micheline Bradley, who's a registered nurse. So thank you, Micheline, for being here. When did you begin to realize that you were attracted to women or girls?
If I may expand it on this, first, I'm from Canada, French Canadian, and at that time, the school were only the girls or the boys. There was no mixture, and the religion for French people was Catholic, English, Protestant. So I did go to nursing training, and there were quite a large group of us, at least a dozen. And we, had enjoy each other's company. In those days, we could even dance as the exercise. And suddenly I felt from one of the gals that I was fairly close with in a group, like.
How old were you?
One-on-one, but maybe like 6 or 7. Suddenly I felt a very, very strange feeling from my heart, emotion. And right on the spot, I said, I love her. It scared me.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed still friend, but not close to her because I did not want to feel that again. Now,
So how old were you then? Did you say you were 6 or 7?
No, a group.
A group. But
It was
how
a
old?
group.
How old were you?
At that time, I would say 18.
Okay.
Yeah. I just start nursing training. Yes, around 18.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have that deep feeling really through me because, and I wanted to avoid it. Okay. Now, at the time, I knew nothing, absolutely nothing about homosexuality, about lesbian. So I did identify with the feeling and I didn't feel comfortable. So I stayed away from being so close to that person. So that was then. Mm-hmm. At about 18 years old. Then the coming out.
You heard any other lesbians? Or was this your first awareness?
No, I didn't know any lesbian. I didn't even know what homosexuality was at all. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that word or what it represents. And that
but you somehow you knew to be not to have that feeling, correct? That feeling.
I felt it was an unusual feeling, and I did not feel comfortable about it. So that feeling did not reoccur for the rest of the training, which was a 3 years training. Then eventually I came.
Is that person in training at the same time as you were?
I beg your pardon?
Were you both in training at the same time? You and that person?
Oh yeah, we were students together. We were, a group about maybe 12, 15 kids in our 18s,
right.
all sharing, having playing together and so forth, but nothing, as I said, that I knew. I don't know if other people knew about homosexuality at all.
Mhm.
That subject was never brought up all during my nursing training.
Yeah, not even in,
And,
did you, in the classroom, like sociology or
no,
psychology?
no,
No.
not at all. Not
Wasn't
at
mine,
all.
I just didn't know what they were talking about. Just, I missed that.
I see. I see. No, when it really came to be was when I moved to this country and I worked at Kaiser at the time. And, there were other nurses, nursing attendant and so forth. And then the nursing supervisor started being close to me, and I was close to her too. We just had a good relationship. And there was another gal, assistant, who apparently told the supervisor, "Why don't you invite her?" And so that was the beginning. And I would say I was then about maybe 23.
Mhm.
And I didn't know even then. So I did ask her what it was all about. And she said, "Come with me at home and I'll show you."
Really?
Yeah. So it was a sexual display. I said, "Huh, what do I do?" And I was explaining the routine type of thing. And so that was the beginning. And that relationship was really chaotic because that person was in a relationship with someone else very closely. They lived together. And so when I would leave the place, I was on my own at my own place. Uh, Needless to say, it was a big shocking, and it went on for quite some times. Because I remember I even had to have surgery at Good Sam and so forth and so on. And she came and helped, introduce me to other people that would help whatever I was going through, health-wise and so forth. But that was the coming out, that supervisor and explaining to me. And I felt that for quite some time that most of my relationship, sexual as lesbian, were sexual, not emotional, sexual only. And it was kind of interesting in a way because I still had some boyfriends.
Mhm.
And I was interested with the boys at the intellectual level, but with the woman, emotional, and then eventually, of course, sexual, and having, eventually living a relationship. So, anyhow, and from then on, it just was a bit rocky and chaotic with the different relationships. My first one,
Did
they
you
were
come out, would you say that with each relationship that you came out a little bit more emotionally as well as sexually?
I liked her as a person,
Uh,
yes, definitely,
but I
as
mean,
as
you
a
didn't stay with you.
supervisor, but not love.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I it, not what I felt the first time,
Mhm.
which was true love then, and which, yeah. So I must say that's been quite a characteristic of my relationship with lesbian, was somewhat emotional, sexual, financial, exchanging profession, traveling and so forth and so on. I finally looked the word homosexual in whichever dictionary, said that it was a mental illness.
Right.
And I said, oh Lord, it kind of really spooked me out. But I said, what can I do? That's where I am. And, I didn't realize what it entailed until, of course, we know that that changed eventually.
Right. Virtually.
Yeah.
But do you think that you put it all together? The emotional, the physical. You said, this is who I am.
Yes. Yes, because I did try to, some nursing friends tried introduce me to their brother.
Uh,
And at that time, when I tried to have a relationship, and there was, please don't touch me, and so forth and so on, I knew that that was it. As far as my relationship with men did not entail any sexual activity. It was intellectual exchange or going out. So that really stopped
mhm.
that aspect. And these,
But when did you
emotional
become comfortable with it? How old were you that you said, this is who I am, I'm a woman, I'm a lesbian, I love women? When did you? Do you recall? Maybe it just sort of came together all of a sudden.
it did.
Mhm.
And mostly, as I mentioned, like the first relationship, staying together relationship, there were children, little boy and little girl. And so it made me like a family.
Mhm.
So that was acceptable, except when the little girl one day said to me, you're not here because you like us. You're here from my mother.
Ah, how old was
And
she?
yeah, and I felt, oh my God, how painful. Of course, I tried to talk my way out of that and said, yes, I definitely wouldn't be here if I didn't like you, and
Mhm.
but they
How
perceived,
old was she when she said that?
uh, maybe 12.
Mhm.
Yeah, fairly young.
Mhm.
Yes, definitely.
Did your coming out have a lot of guilt with it for you?
No, not at all.
Mhm.
Not at all. It was just that dictionary definition that kind of threw me a bit,
Mhm.
a lot. But and the relationship after that became kind of on and off with different
Uh,
partners. And some of the relationship lasted longer, that we uh, had some project in common. As you might know, flipping houses and doing homework. At that time, I was at the VA and tried to prepare for the following day, house remodeling and so forth. And
Well, it sounds like at this point you're totally comfortable.
yes,
That's great, huh? Were your siblings aware of it? Or your parents?
when I read here, when did you realize that you felt differently than the people around you?
Mhm.
I didn't. I just, when I felt what homosexuality was about, I knew, it was a way of being.
Mhm.
And I didn't put myself down, except the mental health thing was a bit demanding. With my parents, I don't believe that I told my mother or father. I did say, mention with my sister. And for some reason, I also had a very, very good friends whom I'm still friend with for more than 6 years, who has all been straight as far as I know. And I felt I felt that she was such a close friend to me that I wanted her to know that I had discovered that within myself. And I remember exactly where we were having drink in the hotel and so forth. And I said, Lise, I have something to tell you. And I mentioned it, and we both start crying.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, but held hands
Mhm.
and said, like we're still together type of thing.
Mhm.
But I just felt, I did not want to have secret in the relationship. I want her to know. As far as my sister was concerned, there was no problem there, except apparently the children said to my sister, and Micheline is lesbian or whatever title they mentioned at the time. And her response was, she is your aunt. And the rest was drop it. And nothing in the relationship with my sister changed in any negative way, remained the same. Absolutely. Yeah. Except I remember my mother, every time that I would call her from LA, at least every so many months, and she kept on saying, when are you going to get married? And suddenly, after a year or so, I had it. And I said, Mom, if you ask me this question again, I will not talk to you. That's not the life that I have chosen, and it will not happen. So, yeah.
What did she say? Anything?
No, she didn't say anything at all, and she never did ask again.
So she heard
I
you.
think the
You
relationship
think,
of speaking with each other was more important, as she decided, than the married. But we have to realize in those days, that's what women were
right, supposed to do.
expected is to get married. She was concerned for the financial aspect more than the love affair
Mhm.
with that person or having children and so forth. It, that's, it's like when she asked me at 18, what do you want to become? I knew I had only three choices, either teacher, secretary, or nurse.
Mm.
Now, my brother had doctor in his choice. That was the difference between the girls and the boys. So, anyhow, I survived it.
Right, and you're still up.
Yeah. With the employment, no question at all, no problem there.
Oh,
With the employment, no,
Mhm.
never.
mhm.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being a part of this. Means a lot to us. And I hope to you. So have a good evening. Say goodbye to Cynthia. We'll see you soon.